Assalamu alaikum. Today you will learn about URL mapping in sendRedirect method. If you have been following my tutorial, we have already discussed about session management and what are its different ways that we can manage the session. Today we are going to look into URL mapping of sendRedirect method. So let's get started. So if you remember in the previous tutorial, we have understood about request dispatcher. Today we are going to look into URL mapping of sendRedirect. So in order to do so, we will say response dot send redirect. In this, we are going to mention the mapping of the servlet which we want to call. We will be calling second servlet. So let me just mention this second. Apart from this, now if you remember in the request dispatcher, we send the value in key value format, right? So here, how we can do this? We can do this by putting a question mark and a key over here. Let me take the same key equals to plus whatever the value is. The value is username. Let me just comment this part. And in the second servlet, pretty much everything remains the same. Save everything. Now let's run this. Right click, run as, run on server. Let's input some name over here. Let's say Tom. Click on submit. We got an error. It says HTTP method get is not supported by this URL. All right. What is the error? So when we are using URL mapping, that means whatever we are mentioning in here goes right into the URL. But since we are using doPost method, that is not visible in the URL, and hence the second servlet is not able to take or grab that key from that URL. Let me just change this from doPost to doGet, and then you will understand better. Since we are using doGet, so in the form also we have to mention get. But since this form takes get by default, so we need not even need to mention this. We can simply delete this. So let's save everything and run on the server. Click on submit button. The username is null. Why? Because in the second servlet we are using get attribute, but in order to get the data from the URL, we need to use get parameter. In this, I'll pass the key like this, and let's hope this time it works. Right click, run on server, save everything, restart the server. Okay, click on submit, and now we got the output in the second servlet. So let's see how this is working. So whenever the user enters his name and clicks on submit button, the control goes to first servlet. So whenever the user enters his name and clicks on the submit button, the control goes to first servlet. The first servlet gets the parameter username, since this is what we have defined over here. And then we'll pass this in the sendRedirect method. Now this text over here is called URL mapping. Since we are calling second servlet, but we are also modifying something in the URL. That after question mark, we say key and value. Key is this and value is this. So while calling the second servlet, it will also pass the key and the value along with that. So now when it goes to the second servlet, in the second servlet, we say request.get parameter. Get parameter is used to get the data from the URL. So if you see over here, when the user clicks on the submit button, this is what we have defined, which is calling second servlet, key and the value. So the second servlet gets the key and prints out the data, which is Tom. This is what we are doing here. So I hope this is clear for you. In the next tutorial, we will be covering HTTP session. So see you guys next time.